up, everybody? It's Omar. It is 8:05 p.m. March 8, 2018, and I want to make a quick video building my watch list for tomorrow. So today, there's a lot of movers. The market, seems to be picking up. The small cap penny stock market seems to be picking up, which is fantastic. I don't know, what's going to happen in the future. But right now it seems to be picking up. I mean, if you look at the Dow, I mean, the all signs point to a bear market. I still think a bear market's coming, but we'll play what the market gives us. For tomorrow, there's several stocks that I'm looking at. The first one is JAGX. I mean, I love my thinkorswim alerts. This thing actually alerted me today. I had an alert set because this was on my watch list like last week. So I've been getting a lot of questions about how the alerts work. I don't have this, you won't be able to see it here, but up here there is a setup button, and if you click there you can go to application settings, and in there you can go to where it says notifications. And right here you can actually set the alerts so that you can add your text number, and what it does, it'll send you text messages every time the alert gets triggered. And you can put different settings and stuff like that. And these are all the potential these are the ones that are active, meaning they haven't been triggered yet. And then the ones that are triggered, so let me just filter by status. You can see that, come on, let's see. All right, these were the ones that were triggered today. Let's do this. Let's do 3-8. Here we go. So these are the ones that I just created for tomorrow. And where are the triggered? So these are the ones that were triggered. So, as you can see, we had all these that were triggered today. I'm trying to see. There it is, JAGX. Oh, that's the ones I set for tomorrow. Shit, I had one. I posted it on Twitter, but JAGX actually triggered, and I had it last week. Damn, I don't know why it doesn't come up. Where is it? That sucks. I don't know why I don't see it here. But it triggered, and several others triggered. What's great about setting the alerts is that, right, we have a watch list for tomorrow here, right? I have my watch list set. So maybe tomorrow nothing happens, right? Maybe JAGX doesn't hit 44 tomorrow. Maybe it doesn't happen for a week, for a month, for 6 months. Doesn't matter, because as soon as it triggers, it hits this mark, it's going to alert me, which is fantastic. That's why I love using the thinkorswim alerts, because it really, and I love the charting because it you can set all kinds of things on the charts, and the alerts are fantastic. I don't need to go crazy looking at multiple stocks to see what they're doing, because I have my key support and resistance level set for potential entry. So I'm looking at JAGX at two particular levels. So right now it's currently at this 34-cent level. Tomorrow you'll probably see people take profit, so this will pull back. And what I'm looking to see is for a potential dip buy. I have some clear support level, clear support at this 28.59 mark. If it holds that, I'll buy the dip. Otherwise, you could take a short. Now, thinkorswim wouldn't have a chance to short. Like, maybe you get lucky with Interactive Brokers or Centerpoint if you have Centerpoint. So that's those. Or if it holds and it goes up, I would buy the break above it. Or if it breaks above 44 and holds, I would take it long. Otherwise, I would short it, risking 44. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, put trend line here. So there's a potential dip by here at this 22-cent level, and we do have some support here at 20 cent, and some more support here at the 17-cent level. So these are other key levels that you could potentially buy the dip. I didn't set alerts there. But you potentially could. Now, if we look at the chart history, right, today got all this crazy volume, 175.9 million shares traded. That's insane. But if you look at the chart history, it doesn't, over the last year, we don't see like, all right, so it had a big day here, right, where it went from, it opened at 41, hit 49, but the next day kind of, gave it all back. And that wasn't even that big a day. 39 of 53. The next day open at 44, high 53, low 40. So tomorrow, more than likely, if we look at the chart history, it's gonna more than likely give it back. Here it had like a 3-day run, where it went this day from 57 to 70, and then this day from 63 to 75. So I mean, it has done it before, but it doesn't have it doesn't normally have that history. So I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but we have our support and resistance levels set to potentially buy dips. So these are 3 areas where you could potentially buy dips if it pulls back. I didn't set the alerts. I'm not gonna do it right now, but here you can map them out yourself, and you can put alerts there to alert you for potential dip buy tomorrow in one of these key areas. Because I think tomorrow, people will take profit at the market open. It'll pull back. It'll probably hit one of these key levels and then continue up. And you can potentially buy. All right. So next up is CRIS. CRIS. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, this thing was as high as $3.22, and it's it's just shitty company. All penny stock companies are shit companies. They just run on news and then they all die and then they run come back to life. But this had a low of 47 cents, and it's been slowly grinding. Today it got 12 million shares traded. It's averaging 1.5 million shares. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Based on that, maybe we'll see some more volatility. If I look at the yearly chart, I don't really get, the impression that this thing is going to, run wild, because you don't really see that in the chart history at least over the last year. Oh, you know what? I'm mistaken. So let's see, this was back in August of last year. This was when it was over $1, but slowly it grinded up all the way up to like 216. It didn't have like huge days. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. What I'm gonna do is what we're looking for is after hours. It's at 77. So if it breaks above 77 and holds, I'll take it long, risking 77, or you can risk 75, which is the support level, good support below it. If it can't hold 75, you can short it, risking that 75 or this high of 77. Okay, and the next key support level for me that I would be looking at is the 62-cent mark. Now, in theory, you do have like areas of support in here, throughout here, but for me, this is like a clear support level. So I'd be looking to see what it's gonna do. If it pulls back and holds this, then I would potentially look to buy a dip. All right, so those are the 3 key areas that I'm looking at. But you can map them out the way you want. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll put like a bigger time frame to just see how the support and resistance looks there on a bigger time frame. And it's kind of choppy over here. So that's why I'm looking at these 3 key levels. All right. Next up, ATOS. So I posted this on Twitter to buy the break because I got the alert. And this was something that I had alerted and forgot about, and it just hit my hit my phone. And I got in for a quick scalp. But I didn't hold after hours. It was funny. I was talking to somebody who messaged me on Twitter, and he asked me, "Did you hold overnight?" Like, nah, man, I don't feel comfortable. And good thing I did it, because this thing completely tanked. And guys, whenever you see something tanking like this, watch it, because you're always gonna get a dip buy opportunity. Stocks are like rubber bands. So when you get this is called a dead cat bounce. When you get a complete drop off, and you get that bounce. So it bounced right to the previous day's close price, and that kind of acted as resistance, and then it kind of like consolidated sideways and fell back. Now, what I'm looking to see tomorrow is sometimes these things have these crazy sell-offs, and then they fill the gap. So because it's holding this 58 area, what I'm looking to see is that if it holds 58, let's say it pulls back tomorrow, I'll buy the dip if it holds. Otherwise, you can take a short, but it's gonna be hard to find shares to short. I think with interactive brokers may have shares to short. Now, if it pulls back and holds 50, I'd buy the dip at 50. Otherwise, you could take it short. And if it breaks above 71 cents and holds, I take it long. Otherwise, I would short, risking off that level. And then but I think if it gets above 71, I think it could fill the gap and retest the 84 tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it doesn't do shit. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. So those are the key levels that I'm looking at, guys. That's all trading is about: support and resistance. People make trading way too complicated. All right. Next up is EYCT. We've been trading this. This thing doesn't want to die. I mean, in theory, this is due for a huge tank, but it just keeps going. So, tomorrow's Friday. I mean, maybe tomorrow's the day that it just completely collapses and it loses like half its value. I don't know. you know, but you know, it went from 7, you know, it's up 10%, and it held, you know, it opened what at 7, it opened at no, that's not what I want to see. It opened at here like at 7:30. So, you know, and it's at right now 784. So it didn't give back all its gains. So that's kind of like a bullish trend. But what I'm curious to see, because I have this kind of thing that I'm looking at, that I have this strategy that I've been using. So it's on the 5-day, it's, you see how you have the this is the simple 200 moving average. This is a simple 300 moving average. This is VWAP, and this is the 50-day simple moving average. If we look on, you know, last time it got above this, once it broke below this, you know, it gave back a lot of its gains, and it's been, you know, riding that momentum now. But it looks like, right, it's been riding that momentum up. But now it looks like tomorrow it's ready to give back some of those gains based on the simple moving averages. I could be wrong, you know. It's just something that I see happen on when you do the 5-day 1-minute time frame. You see that tend to happen. But on the 5-minute time frame, it's still very bullish, and on the 15-minute time frame, you know, it's very bullish. So, but that doesn't mean anything. That you know, with these penny stocks, you know, they're shit companies. So at some point, this gotta pull back, and people are gonna take profit. Now, I don't know if tomorrow's that day, but what I'm looking to do is to see is if it breaks above 897 and holds, I'm gonna take it long, risking off 897. If it right now it's at that 784. So if it pulls back and holds 784, I buy the dip. If it breaks down, look for the previous day's close price to see if it'll act as support. You know, you do have a lot of support here in the 680 level, you know, so it may dip. You know, you may potentially be able to buy a dip somewhere down here. You know, keep an eye on it. But if it breaks above 784, I would take it long. If it dipped below it and then bounced above it, I would long it at 787. 784, I'm sorry. And if it gets above 823, which there's a lot of support in this 823 level, I would go long on it, risking off 823 or the previous support level 784. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Now, in my opinion, the only stock that's going to matter is Netty tomorrow. Why? Netty is a low floater, 3.5 million shares. I think it's a low market cap as well, right? So this is, remember, when you got shares like this, low float like this, that means, you know, these are like supercars, you know, Formula F1 cars. They move really, really fast. Now, Netty, I remember this because last year, right, like today, I knew that ZAN was going to hit $25. I called it because, right, I said that, you know, shorts are going to get squeezed and it has a history of moving, right? Well, if we look at Netty last year, this was actually December. It opened at $5. The next day, it opened at $17, hit a high of 24. And then on that third day, it opened at 29, hit a high of 33, and hit a low of 18. I think tomorrow, this thing is going to break $20. It's going to hit $20, $20+. So really, if I think tomorrow, the only, I mean, you know, it's riskier because, you know, the spreads move fast. But tomorrow, I think this thing breaks above 1075 and just starts ripping and squeezing shorts. And I think this to potentially get $20. You know, if you want, just risk 100 shares and literally you can make several $100 risking 100 shares tomorrow if this breaks above 1075 and holds, which I think is going to happen tomorrow. Now, if it can't hold 1075, you can short it, risking off that, and you can look for a potential dip buy at this 966 level. If it holds 966, buy the dip, otherwise short it, risking that level. The next key level for me is this 896 level. Think $9 because whole numbers are psychological resistance barriers. If you can hold 896, $9, buy the dip, otherwise short it, risking off there. The next key level to me is $8. Buy the dip if it holds 8, otherwise you can short risking that. And then the next key level is 701 with really $7. So these are the levels that I'm looking at. But I think tomorrow, and this is the #1 stock, and everybody's gonna be buying this, and it's gonna run wild. That's my guess. All right, so this would be the stock that I would probably be watching more than any other stock tomorrow. Just remember, as the stock gaps up, You want to put those support and resistance lines to potentially buy dips, because it'll squeeze shorts, gap up, then pull back, and kind of find a support at like a previous level where it pulls back, and then you can buy the dip based off that. So be careful. Right, next up is BB, BlackBerry. It's kind of moving again. It's consolidated. It's bounced off the 38 fib level on the yearly. It's very bullish sign to me. I think tomorrow this stock will break. It'll at the market open. Bag holders will probably take their profit. It'll find a support level, and then dip buyers will buy it and then push this back up past 13.19 tomorrow. That's what I think is gonna happen tomorrow. We'll see. So tomorrow, what I'll be looking to do is see if it breaks above 13.19 and holds. I'll take it long, risking off that 13.19. If it pulls back and finds a support at that 12.84 level, I buy the dip. Otherwise, I short it, risking off that. The next key level is 12.71. I buy the dip there if it holds. Otherwise, I short it, risking off that level. And then, look at 12.50 for a potential dip buy. At that level, or I think it will hold it. I don't think it gets below 12.50 tomorrow. At least that's my guess. We shall see. And you got a lot of support in this 12.50 level, so I think it will hold. But if it breaks below it, you can look for a potential dip at this 12.20 level. All right, so that's what I'm looking at tomorrow. Next up is Z. This is ZSAN. I told everyone, go watch the video yesterday, that it was gonna hit $25. And the reason why I said that was because I said this stock has a history of having multiple green days, and it hit $25 previously. So look what it hit. It had 25.70, which 25.80 was the high last year, in October 12th. So that's all it is, guys. You don't have to. This is not rocket science. Trust me. People overcomplicate this. So it's had 3 green days. The last time it had 3 green days, like it did last time, it started pulling back. Now, the reason why this thing, I think tomorrow, all the people that have been paying attention to this will be in netting. That's my guess. And I think short sellers the bears will win tomorrow, and this thing kind of starts collapsing. But I could be wrong. All right, I could be wrong. Maybe this thing keeps running. But according to this sort of thing that I've been monitoring, it's 5-day 1-minute chart. If you notice now, the stock has been in this upward trend where it's been pretty much riding the 50, 200, and 300 simple moving average. Now, if you look, it broke below it. So I think tomorrow this has its first red day. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Now, what I did was I mapped the key support and resistance levels in the event of, it breaks above. So these are the key levels. So I'll be looking to buy the break above if it holds 27.62, 2071, 2276, 2482, or 2570. So all I do is, map them. I just look at where the key support levels and resistance levels, and I just map them. All right. Tomorrow, if it holds 1740, you could buy the dip, risking off that 1740. If it breaks 1740, I didn't really map anything below it, but 1550 would be the next potential level to buy a dip. But if it breaks 1550 tomorrow, it does have support here in the 13s. If it breaks 13, I think it's lights out. But we'll see. Maybe, it gaps up and it starts ripping. So you can look at any one of these key levels to potentially buy the break above or short. But you're not going to find shares of this to short tomorrow. All right? I doubt it. It's only a few short sellers that are going to be doing, or people who trade with CFDs will be able to probably short this. All right, next up, FBR. FBR's just been running. Man, I've been trading this since like freaking, down here in this $11 range. Shit, I wish I would have held this. So tomorrow I'll be looking for some key levels. If it breaks above 2054 and holds, take it long. Tomorrow's Friday. It's looking at a yearly high. Shorts get squeezed more on Friday, so people that have been holding their short positions may cover today, tomorrow. So this may squeeze. This is kind of choppy, but you may get some real momentum. That's why I put it on the watch list. Now, if it can't hold 2054, I'd be looking for potential dip buy at this 2035 level. If it doesn't hold 2035, take it short, because you might, this will pull back to like $20. And if this can't hold $20, then you can short this, and this thing will tank and give back down to like $19. So look to see how this reacts tomorrow. We'll see. Next up, AAOI. AAOI is this company was at $100. I remember when everybody was buying this. This shit went on a crazy tear to 103, and then it just completely tanked back to $26. Well, it seems to have found its low, and now it's starting to move. And today it went from 26 to 29, and if you notice, it gave back about half the gains, which is telling me that tomorrow this could potentially move. So what I would like to see is if it holds its 27.75 level, I buy the dip. Otherwise I would short it, risking off that. But once it gets back above it and holds, take it long. The next key support level you got to look at, resistance, which it would be resistance at this point would be 28.52 or 28.50. If it holds that, take it long. Otherwise you can short, risking off that. But if it breaks 29.50 and holds, take it long. I think this thing will rip tomorrow. And last but not least, BHGE. I put this because because it had these multiple green days, and I just put it because it's at $30 after hours, really like no shares. But you know, $30 is a whole number, and if it broke above it and held, take it long. Why not? You know, otherwise you can short it, risking off 30. And you know, you have some key support here, 29.80, so you just got to be careful. All right, but I probably shouldn't have put this on the watch list, to be quite honest with you. I don't know. You could probably ignore it. I'm gonna leave it there because I put the alerts. Why not? I got a potential dip by 29.16. If it pulled back and held 29.16, I buy the dip. You know, go long based off that. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's what I'm looking at tomorrow. We'll see. You know, you can look. You know, normally, you know, you can spend a lot of time looking at charts. These are enough. I think tomorrow the #1 play for everyone is gonna be Netty. But also look at look for BlackBerry to break the high day. It might be a nice easy trade. We'll see. All right, folks. So have a great evening. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm on Twitter, watchotrade, YouTube, watchotrade. Thanks.